Hey everyone! I was trying out a new setup for my live stream and thought that maybe I would also do a collective reading while I was at it. So that is what we're going to be doing today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful new moon in Cancer, although by the time this goes up, I guess that would be very past. So never mind. All right, let me just shuffle a few of these decks. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to read this a little less intuitively and a little bit more traditionally. Well, let's see. I guess I'm kind of tapping in intuitively right now. Okay, anyways, we'll just see how it goes. What messages want to come through for the collective? All right, I'm feeling a little bit of tension. I'm feeling it in my head on the right side. I feel like it's being squeezed, but it also feels really positive. Like something good might be happening, or you want something good to happen, or you're trying to make something good happen. Something fun. Something lighthearted. The message for that is, if this is something you're trying to involve other people in, then you should. But if they are not really as interested or kind of dragging their feet or maybe even saying no, do it yourself. This feels like something that you don't really need to rely on other people to do it with. And Spirit wants you to make sure that you're having fun and taking care of yourself. So if no one's really biting, Spirit is like, you know what? That's honestly better because we want you to do things by yourself for right now. Because if you do things by yourself, you'll learn a lesson that Spirit wants you to learn. It's not so much learning it for the first time, but wants you to get reacquainted with, which is being independent, doing things yourself, knowing that you can rely on you, and just getting comfortable with that, getting familiar with that, not feeling awkward when you're off doing something independent or independently. Because I feel if you're not currently in a relationship, there is going to be a partner that's going to be entering your life. Or if you're in a relationship that you're not really happy with, then there's going to be another person coming into your life as well. And when that happens, you're not going to get the chance to be quite as independent as you could be right now. And it's really important that you embrace your independence and your individuality before this person comes into your life, because if this person is the right person, then you may spend many years together or a lifetime together. And when that happens, it's really important that you don't completely melt into another person, because when we do that, we lose our own sense of self. And while we are meeting our other half, as they like to say, it's really important that we still connect to who we are individually, because we still have our own soul plan and soul journey and soul path. And if we completely melt into another person and forget our individuality and forget what it feels like to be independent and start getting a little bit worried about that because we're so comfortable being with somebody else, then we stop really following our path as well as we should, and then we don't really fulfill our own personal purpose that we're here to do, whether we're aware of what that purpose is or not. But every one of us has a reason for being here, whether we are conscious of it or not. We all have a mission that is deep inside of us. And by the way, if you're looking to figure out what your mission is and you would actually like to be conscious of it, I do have a course called the Light Codes Activation Course or Spiritual Activation Course. It is at a very low discounted price of $33, and it is a many week course, and we work together to identify your own spiritual gifts. We meet with your own spiritual guide. We connect with your higher self. We work with different elements. We get action steps on how to actually fulfill your mission once you're made aware of it. We connect more deeply with your soul. So if you're interested in that, check that out in the description box below, or visit visit my website, www.spiritualactivationacademy.com, and you'll be able to find it somewhere on my page, basically. Okay. So basically, Spirit is really wanting you to practice being individual and unique and yourself right now, and getting comfortable with that, so that when you have a partner that you bring into your life that could be your lifelong partner, then you are able to be very comfortable with yourself, so comfortable with yourself that you can melt in with the other person, but in a way that serves both the relationship but also yourself. And it will feel very natural, instead of this like back and forth fighting for your own identity, but also wanting to be in a partnership, and like kind of like that little power struggle that sometimes we have. So yes. Give me just a second right here. Okay. So, next up, what other messages? If there is something that you're working towards right now, maybe it's like a project, or maybe it's a project or just something that you're working on right now, I do feel like you will be successful. I feel like you are on the right path. I feel like you're learning the lessons that you should be learning. And so it's going to be successful, and it's going to go much more smoothly than it could have been. Make sure that you keep learning whatever it is that you need to learn. Make sure that you honor that you are learning the things that you need to learn, because sometimes we can be hard on ourselves or overly critical, thinking, yeah, I kind of learned it, but not fully. The Spirit is basically saying, trust yourself, honor yourself. You're doing all the right things. Make sure that you also celebrate. Doing one more shuffle here. Okay. All right. So, there's been a lot of weight on your shoulders with this 10 of Wands. Try to scoot it all over here. It's been a lot of weight on your shoulders, a lot of things that you've been working on, and it feels like the to-do list is just, it's either never ending or there's so many to-do lists. There's like the actual physical world to-do list that you have to do, and then there's a spiritual to-do list that you have to do, and then there's a relationship and personal life to-do list that you have to do. It just has felt like a lot that you had to manage, that you've had to deal with, that you've had to do. But things are moving forward in a really good way, and they're moving forward, in a good way, in a positive way, in a quick way. You are making the journey that you're supposed to make. You are learning the things you're supposed to learn. Very good on you. And like I was saying before, some of you are going to meet somebody that could be your lifelong partner, and that is really awesome. And you want to make sure that you are ready to embrace that person when they enter here, and that comes from being independent first and foremost, and really growing in the ways that we need to grow. Some of you may feel like you have fallen from grace, like you've made a mistake, or you're not really as great as you thought you were, or not as great as you're cut out to be. That's the way that it wanted to come through. So yeah, there's like an aspect of you that isn't seeing yourself in the most positive of light, and feels like maybe the way that you used to see yourself is incorrect. You're not looking at yourself truthfully, is what I want to say. because we also have nay. So this is not how you're actually supposed to see yourself. You have not fallen from grace. Things just sometimes take a little longer than we would like, and sometimes are a little bit more difficult than we thought that they were going to be. And that's all that there is to it. Don't overthink it. Don't, yeah. You may need to spend more time meditating. You may need to spend more time connecting with yourself. If you feel like you've fallen from grace, it's because you're not connecting to your guides, to your higher self, to the universe, because the universe would never tell you that. The universe would always be like, no, 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 what are you thinking about? That's not how you should think about it. So you may not be connecting to yourself, and that's why you've lost connection with yourself and lost connection to what is actually true, and are seeing things in a way that is not actually serving you anymore. Right? And that's definitely something that we should focus on, put a lot of attention on. You do need to be independent, like I was saying before. You do need to move on this trail and go about things separately, differently for now, so that you maintain that lesson that you need, because what's going to come in for you is going to be a lot of love, a lot of joy. You need to try doing things differently than you have been in a little while and reconnect with who you really are. This is saying overwhelm. I don't actually feel like you're going to be overwhelmed unless you don't do what we're talking about. Because like I was saying before, if you're not really focusing on your independence right now, then there can be that power struggle that sometimes happens in relationships where you're trying to be you, but you're also trying to be fair to the relationship, and you're not really sure when to be one and when to be the other. But if you practice independence, you will find it very natural, and you won't be doing this back and forth, and it won't be overwhelming. I think if you've been feeling like you don't have a lot of energy, that energy is going to come back to you. That's going to change. You're going to be more energized. You're going to feel a lot more alive, especially given all this work that you've been doing and the success that it's going to give you. You will also feel like you have some time to actually rest and to pamper yourself and care for yourself. You will start feeling more spiritually connected, especially if you start doing this meditation that we're talking about here. And you will reawaken to the greatness that you really are, right? Especially because you need to stop thinking about yourself as being this fallen angel of sorts, or like you have fallen from grace in some way. Very nice. So, not every option is a good option, and we shouldn't always be open to other options. There are times when we should and times when we shouldn't. This may be a time when you should not be open to just every option that's out there. Explore the ones that are presenting themselves to you, because they are ones that you have asked for at some point in your life, even if you don't remember, and they are worth exploring and seeing and experiencing first for a little while, so that you can decide, is this something that I still really want? Don't judge things too quickly. Sometimes we have something come our way, maybe like, let's say, like a project or a job opportunity or a person, and we think, nah, they're not my type, that's not my thing, I don't really want to go down that path, I already know. But we miss out if we don't at least hear them out and be like, oh, okay, this is different than what I thought, this is different than what I was originally perceiving. This is actually better than what I would have thought, and better than what I would have asked for myself, and you're coming to me? But see, if you never hear it out, if you cut things out too quickly, then you never get to receive what actually wants to come for you, because you're cutting it out before you even explore it. So yeah, just make sure that you are exploring the options that are showing up for you before you are making any judgments on them. Love, like I was saying, definitely wants to come for you with the soulmate. The tower, yeah, this is definitely the way to work on not having the tower, right? Not having those power struggles. Definitely meditate, right? Have that inner reflection. It will heal a lot of this angst that you have about yourself. And you'll start seeing things clearly that you're not really seeing clearly right now. There's something that Spirit's going to want you to see that you're not yet seeing right now. You may have a feeling of it already, a glimmer. If you already know what it is, then awesome, you're ready. If you don't, or you have a feeling but it's not very concrete, that's okay, because it will be made ready and come to your awareness when the time is right. This is not something that you necessarily need to rush. Be open to receiving more guidance from the universe and learning more lessons. This is the journey of our lives with this teachability card. Like, we're always having to be teachable. We're always having to experience something different and new. We're always having to make sure that we empty our cup so that we can fill it. We're always having to like rethink about things or reframe things, change our perspective around things. So just keep yourself teachable, especially during this time period, because it's going to make life a lot easier. It's going to make relationships easier when we're not so hung up on the way that we think that things should be or the way that things have always been, when we don't think that we're the experts, when we allow ourselves to be open to new ideas. And there are definitely people around you that may be able to help you here with the resourcefulness. So if you are stuck or overwhelmed or feeling a little bit lost, there are people that can help you, especially when it comes to career and work. I think when it comes to relationship, if you follow this guidance, you're going to be pretty much set up for success, just automatically. It's just going to be easier. But when it comes to career, that seems to be a little bit more of the struggle point for the collective right now. Yeah, there are people that can help you. Make sure that you are clear and aware of each person and their strengths and their weaknesses, so that you're not trusting people that maybe don't really have your best interest in mind, and so you're able to know who actually can help you and who's just pretending like they can help you. So that is everything that wanted to come through. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next one.